City Matters.
Welcome to HMTV. My name is Alan Mindel. This is the third and unfortunately final episode with Mazi Pilip for our series Influential Origins. And Mazi, thank you so much for spending some time with us now to talk about really kind of where we are today and some of the things that you've been doing. So take me through you decided to run to be a county legislator.
Yes.
How'd you get there?
So last time we were talking about the fact that my son wanted to start off David, anti-Semitism was out of control, misinformation about Israel was out of control, and then in the same period of time, the Republican Party was looking for somebody to run for the county legislator seat. The community, the leaders of the community, and Great Neck knew me because I was very active, even if I wasn't involved in politics. But I would be involved in a village election. And I was serving as a member of Architectural Review Board in village of Great Neck. So the mayor knew about me. Right. So when they were searching for a candidate, he gave my name to the chairman of the Republican Party. He met me, he interviewed me, he liked everything, about me. He was very impressed about my achievement in life, where I started and where I am. And they decided that I am the right candidate. So since I don't like to complain from the outside, and if I felt like something's wrong, and if I felt I can do things better, if I felt my voice really can help others, I always was involved on things like this. So when the opportunity came, I said, okay, Mazi, if you want to make a change, if you think you have the skills to do so, this is this. You're going to take these seats and you're going to run. I wasn't involved in politics after all, especially in US politics. So I didn't know a lot, but I knew the opportunity over there. And when I take something, I take it very serious. I don't play around.
Right.
I don't like to cry. I like to do my best to do the best, basically.
So you were not necessarily a seat that people thought you were going to win.
No.
But you outworked everybody, if I recall.
Absolutely. So I was pregnant, yeah?
Yep. 5
children.
Yep.
And I remember when I went around and I told them, listen, we have to be involved in local politics. I need you to help me. Some people said, no, running as a Republican is not going to happen. Nobody ever had these seats before you.
Right.
Why you bother? You have 5 children, you're pregnant, leave it alone, they said. And I told them, no, come with me and you will see we can make a change. And before I knew it, more people started to join this group of people who wanted some change, wanted somebody to be their voice. And we went from place to place, from small gathering to big gathering. And again, in my mind, if I take something, I need to do my best.
And you spoke to everybody.
Everyone.
Didn't matter where they were politically, didn't matter what they did. You went everywhere you could.
Absolutely. I wanted people to know me. And purely, I wanted to serve the people. I wanted to be the voice. It didn't even matter for me if you're Republican or Democrat, really not. And when I approached Democrat and I told them who I am and why I'm running and I think I can do a better job, I gave them the opportunity to make that decision. So it was a tough campaign. I am also Shomer Shabbat. I don't work on Shabbat.
Right.
And I wanted to go to different places to meet people, to different synagogues or other places. So you had to walk and meet people.
Right.
I was pregnant with twins. Nobody knew about this other than my husband.
Right.
I didn't want to tell people because I didn't want people to worry about me.
Right.
It was enough already. I have 5 children. I'm pregnant. Why now I have to tell them that I'm
it's
also
not 6,
caring?
it's 7. Yeah.
So let's keep it,
Right.
secret. And I really worked very hard because I knew I have to bring victory, and I knew this was the opportunity. And the more people joined my group and wanted to help, it was just inspiring. It was amazing to see people who did not believe that's possible, to the point they start to be involved to make a difference. Right. So when we had that victory, it was an incredible moment. And right after my election, I said, okay, now I'm the county legislator. My job is to serve everyone, regardless of if you're Republican or Democrat. I really don't care. I want to be your county legislator and helping everyone. And that's what I was doing in the last 3 years. It's my second term. Very soon it's finishing. And I'm going to run for re-election. But the idea is to do your best to serve everyone, to be available, to take every call, every email serious, to improve the quality of life of your people, the people who were out to vote for you, or put the trust on you. Yeah, in you.
That's how I met you, because I met you after you had won your election.
Yes.
You were this county legislator, and everyone said, oh, there's this Republican legislator, and I had been a Democratic committeeman for years, and I had recently fallen into being here at the Holocaust Center.
Yes.
And we were working with Great Neck schools in different ways. And I didn't know you at all. And I was at a Martin Luther King event.
Yes.
To fight racism.
Yep.
And you came up to me and you said, I know you don't know me, and I know I may be a Republican, but I know the work that the Holocaust Center is trying to do, and I want you to know I'm here to help you do it. And I don't want anything from you. I just want you to be successful in that mission to help the community.
It's true.
And I remember telling people about you. Said, she might just be the real deal. Let's see what happens. She might just be the real deal. And then I remember calling you, and you took every call from anyone who ever did to help. And then I remember meeting people that needed stuff for the school district for different things. And they said, do you believe we have this Republican that's here now, and we're never going to get anything done? She's not going to help us with anything. And I said, give her a call. You might be really surprised. And then I remember people telling me, oh my God, she came right away. Whatever we wanted, she's fighting for us for everything. And I kept meeting person after person after person. And it turned out it didn't matter who they were. Not that you knew every issue before you got to it, but you learned every single one of them and whatever needed to be done in a matter that had nothing to do with Democrats or Republicans. If you were a citizen that you were representing, you were there to help them. And everyone saw it.
Thank you.
Like nothing else that they had seen before, with an energy they'd never seen before. And I go, how many kids? Did she say 7? Yeah, she has 7 kids. She'll be here in 10 minutes. Don't worry, she's going to take care of it for you. And no one could believe the force of nature that you were.
Thank you.
But you didn't always take on the simplest issues. You took on issues that may have had a view of complexity, but were simple to you as to what they were about. And, I tried very much to get support for it, because I think history has proven that you were incredibly right about it. You believed after COVID had subsided that a mask ban is something that needed to be reconstituted back in Nassau County. So tell me a bit about that.
So, unfortunately, since October 7, we see the rise of anti-Semitism to the next level. But never in this country I ever felt this kind of anti-Semitism toward the Jewish community. Never. After October 7, where our Jewish nation being attacked by a terrorist organization and a holy Shabbat and the holiday, Simchat Torah.
Yeah.
Over 1,200 people killed. Babies were burned alive. kidnap over 200 people, little children, babies, women, Holocaust survivor.
Yeah. Women raped to death.
Women raped.
With their pelvises broken in directions that people couldn't even tell. And here in New York, at some of our finest institutions, there were people cheering for the burning, the murdering, the torturing, the kidnapping, and the rape of Jewish men, women, and children. Yeah. Never in history before.
Never. And I'm sure it surprised you because it surprised me and many others. I cried that day, October 7. But you know one thing I said? Wow. At least now the world will see what evil is about. The world will see what Israel is dealing with. I never imagined on October 8th, we're going to have thousands outside on the streets marching, death to the Jews, gas to the Jews, or from the river to the sea, with completely covered faces, with Hamas and Hezbollah flags terrorizing our Jewish community, our Jewish students. I couldn't take it. It was very personal. For me, it was personal.
Because you got kids.
I have
kids. Many of us have kids.
Exactly.
Kids that are still in college.
Exactly. And I was traveling everywhere, including Columbia University. If you remember, you and me, we were in front of Columbia University.
Yep.
Holding students' hands, shaking, telling me, one of the students from my district, telling me that she doesn't want to go back to Columbia. She's terrified. She can't walk from one building to second building. And we're talking about like a 20 years old girl.
Kids that studied their heart out, worked so hard to get into an Ivy League university, whose parents are paying $100,000, who are trying to get degrees to be doctors or scientists, whatever their profession was. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, they couldn't walk around campus as Jewish kids.
How sad is that? It's unreal. Unreal.
People still don't believe it.
People still don't believe it in this beautiful country in 2023, 2024, and 2025.
Yeah.
So when I saw terrorist sympathizers hiding their faces, intimidating our Jewish students all over the country, including even Nassau, I said, let's bring back the mosque bill that was here in New York State over 170 years.
Right.
When they passed that bill, it was to support and protect the minority from the KKK.
Right.
That the same bill that was there to protect the minority, they removed it during COVID. I felt this is the time to bring it back. Now we don't have COVID. We want people to rally. We want people to practice freedom of speech. However, in Nassau County, we are not going to allow you to cover your faces and intimidate and assault physically and emotionally our Jewish community. It's not going to happen. That's the reason why I passed it, and the majority of my Republican colleagues passed this bill with me. Unfortunately, the Democratic side decided not to vote for it, which was sad, to be honest.
They abstained, right?
Abstained. Why? Why you would abstain? This is the opportunity to protect your Jewish community. They belong to you. Some of you, you're representing the Jewish community. Why is that? And Governor Hochul spoke about this. She wanted to pass this bill. Still, New York State is sitting.
Yeah.
They are talking about this. And Alan, to be honest, and leave politics alone.
Right.
You know, and I know, if something like this was happening to any minority class.
And here we are, 2.5% of the population, and people don't understand that we're a minority and don't understand that we need the same protections that any other minority group.
Very simple. We don't ask that much. We want the same right like everybody else. So I want everyone to support this kind of bill. This is your obligation, your responsibility to protect everyone. And I want to see leadership, no politics, leadership. And our county executive, Bruce Blakeman, By signing that bill, he made it possible in Nassau County, basically, if you don't have any reason, health or religion's reason, you are not going to come.
Right, so there were exceptions. People who had health issues never had to take their mask off.
Absolutely.
People who had a religious reason to cover their face were entitled to continue doing so without any explanation. It was their given right.
Yes.
Their freedom of religion, freedom of expression, freedom for the protection of their health was always protected.
Absolutely.
But protection for freedom of speech doesn't mean you're supposed to be protected for anonymity to call for there to be a violent uprising against a minority group within your community.
Exactly.
And not everyone knows the words that mean that, you know. You lived in Israel. I know I was there in 1990 and 89. I know what an intifada is.
Oh, yeah.
Know. Tell people what an intifada really is about.
In the second intifada, I was living in Israel. I was a student when buses and restaurants blew up left and right. I remember as a young girl, how many times I had to get off the buses because I felt uncomfortable. I felt like something is about to happen.
Right.
And it's just a feeling, you're so terrified it can be you tomorrow. I used to leave the bus left and right. And one of the buses, believe it or not, number 37 in Haifa University, comes from Rambam Hospital all the way up to Carmel area. Right. The bus I used to take, and my husband now, my boyfriend back then, used to take, exploded. So many people got killed.
And everyone takes the bus in Israel. It's not everyone has a car like America.
No.
Everyone takes the bus. That's your method of transportation. It's like the subway blowing up in Manhattan.
Exactly.
Everyone rides it.
That is intifada.
Right.
Intifada is when you're coming out in any ways possible when you kill people.
Civilians,
innocent civilians. Right. That is intifada. When you're calling intifada, that's what you're calling for.
Right.
So in Nassau County, you are welcome to come to protest,
right.
But you are not going to break laws. You are not covering your faces. You are not going to attack our law enforcement. You will follow the rules of the county.
Right. And you won't be allowed to attack our citizens.
Absolutely not.
You can exercise your freedom of speech, but that doesn't give you the right to hurt people or to threaten people.
I agree.
Or to tell people what you're going to do to them.
And it's not fair. It's not fair for our government to be silent. It's not fair. That's not right. This is obligation of government to protect everyone. And I want to see more action taking place in New York State and doing something about this. Year and a half is too long. Too long.
New York State, there's 37 states, I believe, that have passed the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism, where it's not just the Nazi hatred of the Jewish race that is anti-Semitism. First of all, there is no definition in New York of anti-Semitism, which is why there's almost no prosecutions. It's to say that if someone wants to criticize Israel, they're free to do so.
Yes.
Every nation, our own, and we both very much love America, you know, every nation to become a more perfect union, criticism is part of making that more perfect union.
Exactly.
But threatening its citizens that you're going to rape them or murder them or to physically assault students or to not let them on campus or to interrupt their class, that has nothing to do with freedom of speech.
Yep.
You know, and the incredible part is the partners to this here. I mean, for me, it was an incredibly important thing to fight for the rights of people in my industry. I'm in the hospitality business.
Yes.
There's a sizable percentage of that industry that is of different sexual orientations. We held the first gay marriage on Long Island in my business. We were the first employer on Long Island that offered medical benefits to your partner, regardless of it.
It's beautiful.
In Tel Aviv, the largest parade for gay rights in the world is held.
Yep.
So what do we think when we see people say gays for Palestine in a place where in Israel there are refugees from the West Bank that are allowed into Israel because if Israel doesn't let them in, the fact that they are gay they will be honor killed in the West Bank or Gaza simply because of their sexual orientation.
Yep. That's a true fact.
But that's not what anyone talks about. You know,
They don't want to see the reality. I don't know. I mean, I want to believe they're smart to understand the reality, but they are ignoring the reality, the fact.
it's the basis of propaganda is when
Yes.
you create a false narrative
Right.
and a false reality that the world sometimes believes, thinking that it doesn't matter that Israel has the most rights for people of different sexual orientation. You know, we'll call them that they separate people out. It doesn't matter that there are Jews of every color, every type, every part of the world that live in peace together. It doesn't matter that there are people of other religions that, you know, at the Dome of the Rock, you can have on Eid and Ramadan, thousands upon thousands of people go that Jews welcome through, that Druze can march from Syria, enter through to go to their religious locations because we cherish freedom of religion,
Yep.
you know. And here we are, Jews that have been for hundreds of years in New York. Some are Nobel Prize winners. Some created entire industries. Some created entire fields of medicine, right? Jonas Salk cured polio, right? And yet we have to fight for our right to live in this state.
Yep.
You know.
To live in the state and to feel comfortable, you know, and to
Yeah.
walk as a proud Jew. Today, that right almost taken away from us. And a lot of people, not like you or like me, will go with the Star of David. Some people terrified to go with this.
A ton. And that alone should be frightening for people. But they're never painted that way. You know, it's always painted like we're attempting to take someone's rights when we are the mothers and fathers of so many of these movements and so proudly fought for so many of these movements.
Yep.
You know, it's an obscenity to take that record and paint us in some light of something we're not. And yet today, I mean, you and I have been to Colombia, right? And we've been there where Jews are attacked, physically attacked, not their emotions, not, you know, words will never hurt me, but they're physically attacked, right? Or they're teenage girls told they're going to be raped in their dorms,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And we don't need to know who's saying they're going to rape our daughters in their dorms, right?
That's
That we have to be judged by a different standard than the rest of the world, that we don't have the same right to sovereignty as the rest of the world, that our children are somehow lesser than. And they say, well, you know, attacking Zionism isn't like the Nazis attacking your right to exist.
Yeah.
Zionism is simply a right to live in your own ancestral homeland, not exclusively
Yep.
with our brothers and sisters of the Christian faith, of the Muslim faith, our light-skinned brothers and sisters, our dark-skinned brothers and sisters. So you've taken this fight in a way that so few have,
Yeah.
in a way that no one has always seen. And the criticism is never about what you do, how you may have said something, how you may have looked. Is that how the world is meant to perceive us? So again, you know, we're coming up to the end of our time here. I don't know if there's anything else you want to say.
I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being there, fighting this hate, anti-Semitism, together with me. We have been together in a lot of rallies, and we are calling for justice. And this is our job, to empower our community, our students, to let them know they are not alone. We are with them, and we're going to go through this together.
They are not alone. And what we want the world to know is that no one is free unless all of us are free.
Yep.
And we've believed that and fought for that for every other group. Don't do more, don't do less, just treat us the same.
I agree.
God bless you, Mazi. Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for
Alan.
being here. It's been an honor and a privilege of a lifetime.
Thank you for
Really
having me.
appreciate your time.
Thank you.